Previously, we talked about how to tell your child that he's never getting a smartphone. Great move. If you've done that, congratulations. They're going to raise a bunch of objections. Here's how you respond to them. I'm Dr. Johann, a clinical psychologist. I've heard many of these objections. I've spoken to parents. I've spoken to their children, and I've never heard a good objection yet. Before addressing the objections, it's very helpful for you to realize why they are making these objections. It's important for parents to realize that these are not real objections. It's not that the child is genuinely ignorant about why you're taking the smartphone away, about what the benefits are or what the harms are for having the smartphone. They're not trying to engage in a rational discourse. They're really just trying to get their way and putting a voice to their emotions, trying to wear you down. So it's helpful to step back and realize that we're not really having a genuine, sincere dialogue here about the truth. Now, that being said, I think it is still helpful to address the objections because it will form their intellect indirectly, even if they're not receptive to it in the moment. It shows that you have thought through this and there is a good response to it. And later, when they're calmer and things have settled down, they can reflect on it and learn from it. And I've also taught two teens who gone through this change and they end up really appreciating their parents' decision not to give them a smartphone. You may not always even want to address the objection. Sometimes it's better just to smile and keep doing what you're doing or just walk away. Other times you may feel riled up and defensive. That's not the time to try to do a teaching moment with your child. Calm down first and come back to it later. Anyways, if you do feel the time is right to address the objection, this is what you do. Objection 1, everybody has one, but everybody has one. I'm going to be so left out. Yeah, it is true that many teens have them. I mean, 95% of American teens do have a smartphone, and the average entertainment screen time is 8 hours and 39 minutes a day. That is normal, but should it be normal? There are many things in our society that are normal. Abortion is normal. Dressing immodestly is normal. Kids disrespecting their parents is normal. Should those things be normal? That's the first question. And then we got to realize that it is hard to live a life of virtue. It's never been easy to be a Christian. It's always been countercultural, and our times are no different. So yes, if we do want to live an upright life, we are going to be countercultural, and this is one example of it. Objection 2, how I communicate with my friends. Friendship is one of the highest goods in life. This is worth addressing. You can give them a tin can phone or a voice over IP landline. These are both basically types of landlines. So they can call their friends. If they want to arrange an in-person hangout, they can use your phone. Or if you decide to give them a basic phone or a feature phone that doesn't have internet, but just has very limited texting, like 5 minutes a day, in order for them to arrange in-person hangouts, you can choose to do that as well. That's a separate issue worth a discussion in itself, but it is a possibility. Objection 3. You're ruining my life. Keep in mind here, this is not a real objection. This is just voicing strong emotions. You don't want to intellectualize this one. You don't want to respond to it on a rational level. You just want to give your child a hug and say, I know this is difficult for you, and I believe you can get through it, and then walk away. Objection 4. What if there's an emergency? Look, emergencies are very rare. Real emergencies almost never happen. I can't remember the last time. In fact, I've never been told of the time when a child needed a phone for a real emergency. Now, if something does arise, or even if they're just needs to contact you for convenience, look, borrow someone else's phone. That's one of the benefits of so much of the world being addicted to phones. There's phones everywhere. Borrow a phone, you can learn a life skill of even talking to a stranger or talking to an adult. Objection 4, you don't trust me. This gets the moms. You can say, hey, look, I trust that you have a good heart. I don't trust that you're able to withstand literally thousands of behavioral experts whose sole job is to crack your willpower by making you addicted to smartphone and its accompanying apps. Yeah, I don't trust that you can do that because that takes years of character development, virtue, good habits. It really helps if you have a developed prefrontal cortex, which doesn't happen until 25 at earliest, even early 30s in some studies. And in fact, look, most adults around you are addicted. How is a child not going to be addicted if most adults are, including maybe even yourself? Objection 5, I need it for school or extracurriculars. Okay, now we're getting into practical objections that actually have a logical basis. To them, we need to address these concerns one by one, take each extracurricular, each app, and find a solution for it. Of course, in the spirit of giving children responsibility, you want to put this on them. Hey, you organize your own extracurricular. If you want to do it, figure it out. Get a friend to text you. Yeah, there's going to be some inconveniences. Maybe Practice is going to end early and you're going to have to wait for half an hour for us to come at the normal pickup time, God forbid. Things are going to be a little bit more inconvenient, also an opportunity to live a countercultural lifestyle and example in your school. And it's very edifying for teachers to see that a child does not have a smartphone. Objection 6, I'll just get one anyways. Okay, if they're actually going to do that, that's very concerning that they're going to flout the parental authority so blatantly. Now we have a much bigger problem than just a smartphone. And that's going to have to be addressed. Because if you lose your parental authority, then you lose your ability to help your child. Objection 7, you're being unfair. So this could be the case if you give the phone to an older child. And you can just say, look, we've always loved you. We've always wanted to do what's best for you. We just simply didn't know how to. We thought we were doing the best with what we knew at the time. Now we know better. So we're changing things. And it's our mistake. You want to put it on yourself, not on the child. Objection 8, I'll be so bored without it. Yes, you will be bored. That's a gift we are giving you. It is good to be bored and not be constantly occupied and entertained. It allows your imagination to work. It allows you to notice things around you and notice nature that God created for us. Look at the ants on the ground, busying themselves away. Look at the flowers, the trees, the sky, the clouds, or maybe even pay attention to the human persons in front of you. I'm also going to share a testimony from a high schooler I talked to. His parents took away the smartphone. I asked him, what was that like? And he said, in the first month, I was always bored. Anytime I didn't have anything to do, I would normally just whip out my phone, didn't have it, I was bored. After that month, my brain changed. Something changed. I was different. Or I didn't have anything to do. I would just think to myself, I'm relaxing. Isn't that beautiful? Those are some of the objections you may hear after you announce to your child that you are going to show love to them by never giving them a smartphone. If you have other objections, feel free to put them in the comments and we can address that as well. If you want to learn about the 4 crucial moments that most parents miss in the technology battle, download my free guide, which will be in the description here. If you want me to come to you to talk to your group, reach out to me. I'm happy to do so. I've been speaking on this for 8 years. I'm Dr. Johann. See you in the next video.